Toruń is a city in northern Poland, on the Vistula River. Its population was 203,148 as of June 2014. Toruń is one of the oldest cities in Poland. The medieval old town of Toruń is the birthplace of Polish astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus. In 1997, the medieval part of the city was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In 2007, the old town in Toruń was added to the list of 7 Wonders of Poland. Previously it was the capital of the Toruń Voivodeship and the Pomeranian Voivodeship. Since 1999, Toruń has been a seat of the self-government of the Kuyavian Pomeranian Voivodeship and, as such, is one of its 2 capitals. The cities and neighboring counties formed the Bydgoszcz-Toruń Twin City metropolitan area. History. The first settlement in the vicinity of Toruń is dated by archaeologists to 1100 BC. During early medieval times, in the 7th through 13th centuries, it was the location of an Old Slavonic settlement, at a ford in the Vistula River. In spring 1231, the Teutonic Knights crossed the river Vistula at the height of Nassau and established a fortress. On the 28th of December 1233, the Teutonic Knights Hermann von Salz and Hermann Bork signed the foundation charters for Thorn and Culm. The original document was lost in 1244. The set of rights in general is known as Culm Law. In 1236, due to frequent flooding, it was relocated to the present site of the old town. In 1263, Franciscan monks settled in the city, followed in 1239 by Dominicans. In 1264, the adjacent new town was founded predominantly to house Toruń's growing population of craftsmen and artisans. In 1280, the city joined the mercantile Hanseatic League, and thus became an important medieval trade center. The first Peace of Thorn ending the Polish-Lithuanian Teutonic War was signed in the city in February 1411. In 1440, the gentry of Thorn formed the Prussian Confederation, and in 1454 rose with the Confederation against the monastic state of the Teutonic Knights in the 13 Years' War. After almost 200 years, the new and old towns amalgamated in 1454. The Poles destroyed the Teutonic castle. The 13 Years' War ended in 1466 with the Second Peace of Thorn, in which the Teutonic Order ceded the control over western provinces. Henceforth Royal Prussia. Thorn remained a free city, now under the patronage of the Polish king. In 1557, during the Protestant Reformation, the city adopted Protestantism. Under Mayor Heinrich Strabon, the city became centralized. Administrative power passed into the hands of the city council. In 1595, Jesuits arrived to promote the Counter-Reformation, taking control of St. John's Church. The Protestant city officials tried to limit the influx of Catholics into the city, as Catholics already controlled most of the churches, leaving only St. Mary's to Protestant citizens. In 1677, the Prussian historian and educator Christoph Hartnock was invited to be director of the Thorn Gymnasium, a post which he held until his death in 1687. Hartnock wrote histories of Prussia, including the cities of Royal Prussia. During the Great Northern War, the restoration of Augustus the Strong as King of Poland was prepared in the town in the Treaty of Thorn by Russian Tsar Peter the Great. In the second half of the 17th century, tensions between Catholics and Protestants grew, similarly to religious wars throughout Europe. In the early 18th century, about 50% of the populace, especially the gentry and middle class, were German-speaking Protestants, while the other 50% were Polish-speaking Roman Catholics. Protestant influence was subsequently pushed back after the tumult of Thorn of 1724. Sites. Listed on the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites since 1997, Toruń has many monuments of architecture dating back to the Middle Ages. The city is famous for having preserved almost intact its medieval spatial layout and many Gothic buildings, all built from brick, including monumental churches, the town hall and many burgher houses. The most interesting monuments are Gothic churches, the Cathedral of Ss. John the Evangelist and John the Baptist, an old hall church built in the 14th century and extended in the 15th century, outstanding Gothic sculptures and paintings inside, Renaissance and Baroque epitaphs and altars, St. Mary's Church, a formerly Franciscan old hall built in the 14th century, St. James's Church, a basilica from the 14th century, with monumental wall paintings and Gothic stalls. The Old Town Hall, begun in 1274, extended and rebuilt between 1391 and 1399, and extended at the end of the 16th century, one of the most monumental town halls in Central Europe. City fortifications, begun in the 13th century, extended between the 14th and 15th centuries, mostly demolished in the 19th century, but partially preserved with a few city gates and watchtowers from the Vistula side. See also Toruń Fortress, a 15th-century Gothic house where Copernicus was reputedly born. Ruins of 13th-century Teutonic Knights Castle, house at the sign of the star, previously Gothic, briefly owned by Philip Callimachus, then rebuilt in the 16th century and in 1697, with a richly decorated stucco facade and wooden spiral stairs. Toruń has the largest number of preserved Gothic houses in Poland, many with Gothic wall paintings or wood-beam ceilings from the 16th to the 18th centuries. Toruń, unlike many other historic cities in Poland, escaped substantial destruction in World War II. Particularly left intact was the Old Town, all of whose important architectural monuments are originals, not reconstructions. Major renovation projects have been undertaken in recent years to improve the condition and external presentation of the Old Town. Besides the renovation of various buildings, projects such as the reconstruction of the pavement of the streets and squares, and the introduction of new plants, trees and objects of small architecture are underway. Numerous buildings and other constructions, including the city walls along the boulevard, are illuminated at night, creating an impressive effect, probably unique among Polish cities with respect to the size of Toruń's Old Town and the scale of the illumination project itself. City districts. Toruń is divided into 17 administrative districts or boroughs, each with a degree of autonomy within its own municipal government. The districts include Bielany, Bielawy, Bydgoski Estate, Chelmiński Estate, Czerniewice, Grybosyn, Jakubski, Kościołek, Mokre, Podjors, Rubinkowo, Rudek, Skarpa, Starauka, Storki, Rozozy, and Rozozy II. Demographics. The most recent statistics show a decrease in the population of the city, to 205,934 in the middle of 2009. This is mainly because quite a large number of citizens have been moving to nearby communities, adjacent to the formal administrative area of Toruń, but still outside it. As a result, Toruń is surrounded by a belt of densely populated settlements, whose inhabitants work, shop and entertain in the city proper, but do not officially live there. In recent years, a discussion has been taking place as to whether or not these surrounding communities should be incorporated into the city's administrative area. This seems rather inevitable in the longer term, though many say Toruń has almost reached the limit of its development within the city's boundary. Inside the city itself, most of the population is concentrated on the right bank of the Vistula River. Two of the most densely populated areas are Rubinkowo and Skarpy, housing projects built mostly in the the 1970s and 1980s. Located between the central and easternmost districts, the total population is about 70,000. Toruń and Bydgoszcz together make up a bipolar metroplex which, including those cities, counties and a number of smaller towns, may have a population of as much as 800,000. Thus, the area contains about one-third of the population of the Kuyavia-Pomerania region. Some groups of Japanese, Ukrainian and Vietnamese people live in Toruń now. The Japanese diaspora is the largest visible minority in the city. It stems from the management of businesses opened in recent years by Japanese companies such as Sharp, as well as Japanese managers, engineers, translators, and the families. There are Japanese language teachers working at the local university and language schools, and people who have married locals and stayed in Toruń. Transport. The transport network in the city itself has been a subject of much criticism for years. Although the city proper is not very large, the underdeveloped street and road network is a source of problems. It has to deal not only with the traffic generated by Toruń itself, but also with heavy transit and metropolitan traffic. Even the construction of new wide avenues, both by reconstructing existing streets and by construction of others from scratch, has not been enough. The most serious problem, however, is that only a single car traffic bridge crosses the Vistula River inside the city's boundaries. The construction of beltways, and thus the reduction of the inflow of vehicles into the city, has helped significantly, but still the existence of only one downtown bridge causes serious transportation difficulties, especially traffic jams. The construction of another bridge, located 4 kilometers east of the existing one, has been prepared and was to start in 2009, and most of the necessary funds were to be secured by the end of 2008. Yet, political rivalries and technical difficulties prevented constructions to go on as planned. The construction of the new bridge began in spring 2011 and was completed on July 4, 2013. The city's public transport system comprises 5 tram lines and about 40 bus routes, covering the city and some of the neighboring communities. Toruń is situated at a major road junction, one of the most important in Poland. The A1 highway reaches Toruń, and a southern beltway surrounds the city. Besides these, the European route E75 and a number of domestic roads run through the city. With 3 main railway stations, the city is a major rail junction, with 2 important lines crossing there. 2 other lines stem from Toruń toward Malbork and Cierpc. The rail connection with Bydgoszcz is run under a name, Its City, as a metropolitan rail. Its main purpose is to allow traveling between and within these cities using one ticket. A joint venture of Toruń, Bydgoszcz, Solis Kujawski and the voivodeship. It is considered as important in integrating Bydgoszcz-Toruń metropolitan area. A major modernization of Its City rail route, as well as a purchase of completely new vehicles to serve the line, is planned for 2008 and 2009. Technically, it will allow it to travel between Toruń and eastern Bydgoszcz airport stations at a speed of 120 km per hour in a time of approximately half an hour. In a few years' time, Its City will be integrated with local transportation systems of Toruń and Bydgoszcz, thus creating a uniform metropolitan transportation network, with all necessary funds having been secured in 2008. Since September 2008, the one-ticket solution has been introduced also as regards a rail connection with Włocławek as a regional ticket. The same is planned for connection with Grudziądz. 2 bus depots serve to connect the city with other towns and cities in Poland. As of 2008, a small sport airfield exists in Toruń. However, a modernization of the airport is seriously considered with a number of investors interested in it. Independently of this, Bydgoszcz Świdrowo Airport, located about 50 kilometers from Toruń city center, serves the whole Bydgoszcz-Toruń metropolitan area, with a number of regular flights to European cities. Economy. Although a medium-sized city, Toruń is the site of headquarters of some of the largest and most influential companies in Poland, or at least of the subsidiaries. The official unemployment rate as of September 2008 is 5.4%. In 2006, construction of new plants owned by Sharp Corporation and other companies of mainly Japanese origin has started in the neighboring community of Lysomyce from city center. The facilities under construction are located in a newly created special economic zone. As a result of cooperation of the companies mentioned above, a vast high-tech complex is to be constructed in the next few years, providing as many as 10,000 jobs at the cost of about €450 million. As of 2008, the creation of another special economic zone is being considered, this time inside city limits. Thanks to its architectural heritage, Toruń is visited by more than 1.5 million tourists a year. This makes tourism an important branch of the local economy. Although time spent in the city by individual tourists of the number of hotels which can serve them are still not considered satisfactory. Major investments in renovation of the city's monuments, building new hotels, improvement in promotion, as well as launching new cultural and scientific events and facilities, give very good prospects for Toruń's tourism. In recent years, Toruń has been a site of intense building construction investments, mainly residential, and in its transportation network. The latter has been possible partly due to the use of European Union funds assigned for new member states. Toruń City County generates by far the highest number of new dwellings built each year among all Kuyavi and Pomeranian counties, both relative to its population as well as in absolute values. It has led to almost complete rebuilding of some districts. As of 2008, many major constructions are either under development or are to be launched soon, the value of some of them exceeding €100 million. They include a new speedway stadium, major shopping and entertainment centers, a commercial complex popularly called a new center of Toruń, a music theater, a center of contemporary art, hotels, office buildings, facilities for the Nicolaus Copernicus University, roads and tram routes, sewage and fresh water delivery systems, residential projects, the possibility of a new bridge over the Vistula, and more. Construction of the A1 motorway and the Its City Fast Metropolitan Railway also directly affects the city. About 25,000 local firms are registered in Toruń. Culture. Toruń has 2 drama theaters, 2 children's theaters, 2 music theaters, and numerous other theater groups. The city hosts, among others, events, the International Theater Festival, Contact, annually in May. A building called Barge Pomorski has recently been completely reconstructed. It is now one of the most modern cultural facilities in the city, with its front elevation in the shape of a gigantic chest of drawers. It is located at the southeast edge of the old town. Toruń has 2 cinemas, including a cinema city, which has over 2,000 seats. Over 10 major museums document the history of Toruń and the region. Among others, the House of Copernicus and the accompanying museum commemorate Nicolaus Copernicus and his revolutionary work. The University Museum reveals the history of the city's academic past. The Center of Contemporary Art opened in June 2008 and is one of the most important cultural facilities of this kind in Poland. The modern building is located in the very center of the city, adjacent to the old town. The Toruń Symphonic Orchestra is well rooted in the Toruń cultural landscape. Toruń is equipped with a planetarium and an astronomical observatory. The latter boasts the largest radio telescope in the eastern part of Central Europe with a diameter of 32 meters, second only to the Effelsberg 100 meters radio telescope. Toruń is well known for Toruń gingerbread, a type of pierniki often made in elaborate molds. Museum Piernika in Toruń is the only museum dedicated to gingerbread in Europe. Education. Over 30 elementary and primary schools and over 10 high schools make up the educational base of Toruń. Besides these, students can also attend a handful of private schools. The largest institution of higher education in Toruń, Nicolaus Copernicus University in Toruń, serves over 40,000 students and was founded in 1945, based on the Toruń Scientific Society. Stefan Batory University in Wilno, and Jan Kazimierz University in Lviv. The existence of a high-ranked and high-profile university with so many students plays a great role in the city's position and importance in general, as well as in creating an image of Toruń streets and clubs filled with crowds of young people. It also has a serious influence on local economy. Other public institutions of higher education: Wyższe Seminarium Toruń, the Teacher Training College, Nauczycielskie Collegium Językowo-Obce, College of Fashion, University of Warmia and Mazuri in Olsztyn, Faculty of Geodesy and Land Management Department in Toruń, College of Social Work, Collegium Brakuinov Slusp's Polichnich, University of Gdansk, College of Language. There are also a number of private higher education facilities: WSB Universities, WSB University in Toruń, the University of Social and Medial Culture in Toruń, Wyższa Szkoła Kultury Społecznej i Medialnej, Toruńska Szkoła Wyższa, Wyższa Szkoła Filologii Hebrajskiej, Toruń School of Entrepreneurship, Toruńska Wyższa Szkoła Przedsiębiorczości. Healthcare. 6 hospitals of various specializations provide medical service for Toruń itself, its surrounding area and to the region in general. The 2 largest of these hospitals, recently run by the voivodeship, had to be taken over by Nicolaus Copernicus University and run as its clinical units. At least one of them is to change its status in 2008, with the formal procedures being very advanced. In addition, there are a number of other healthcare facilities in the city. Media, press, daily newspapers, NASZ Dziennik, Rzeczpospolita, Gazeta Wyborcza Toruń, Gazeta Pomorska, Nowości, Metro Weekly magazines, Niedziela, City Toruń, Teraz Toruń, Other, Underground, Immuniat, Illustrator, Poza Toruń. Radio stations: Polskie Radio Pomorze Jor, Radio Eska, which plays international hits along with Polish music, Radio GRA, Radio ZET Gold, Radio Sfera, Wawa, RMFFM, Radio Maria, a radio station that broadcasts religious observances such as Mass and prayer in Polish. TV stations: TVN, TVN24 Regional Office, TVP Info Oddział W Bydgoszczy, Redakcja Terenowa W Toruniu, Telewizja TRW Empress TV, Telewizja Kablowa Toruń, Telewizja Tat Studio Region, Telewizja Petrus. Sports clubs: Unibiks Toruń, Motorcycle Speedway, who ride in the Speedway Ekstraliga, Polish champions 4 times. Toruński Klub Piłkarski, football, Angels Toruń, American football, Polish-American Football League 1st Division. Nesta Toruń, ice hockey, Pomorzany Toruń, field hockey, football, box. Nestle Pacific, cycling. Toruński Club Bowling, OE Bowling. Energa Toruń, basketball. TKST Budowlany Toruń, volleyball. Sidon Polski Krakia Toruń, basketball. UKS Budowlanka Toruń, volleyball. Municipal stadium. Notable residents. International relations. Bulwar Philadelphiajski, both a 2 kilometers long street running mostly between Vistula River and walls of the Old Town, and a boulevard itself, honors Toruń's sister relationship with Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Limak Gatiński is one of the lanes connecting Pilsudski Bridge, John Paul II Avenue with Philadelphia Boulevard at the downtown interchange. It honors the relationship with Göttingen, its name derived from the street's half-circular shape. Twin towns. Sister cities. Toruń is twinned with Gallery.